Hey, everybody, welcome back to the All Things Gratitude podcast. I'm your host, Nick Dorsey. And before we get started, up there in that corner is Impulse Consulting. Anywhere from a profile audit to the 12-step LinkedIn coaching program. Hey, come check them out. They're down the links if you're on LinkedIn. Hit that, send them I sent you, and man, we'll get you set up with something cool. So today, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. I want to be a public speaker and really pushing towards that. And we have one on the show today, so I'm really excited about that. Our next guest is a tech career strategist focusing on helping people to land their dream job and become successful leaders. He is passionate about guiding professionals to maximize their opportunities and discover their zones of genius. He also uses his 15 plus years of experience in the tech industry to research, speak, write about how we can embrace technology and become full-on digital citizens. He's a sought-after speaker at various conferences and been featured in numerous podcasts and publications, including Authority Magazine, Career Addict, Thrive Global, and Addicted to Success, and The Good Man Project. And now he's on the All Things Gratitude podcast, top of your list now. Hey, guys, welcome to the show. I'm going to butcher it. Sorry, Raj Subrameyer.
You got it, man.
There we go. Awesome. So awesome. Raj, thanks for being on today, man. I'm super excited to have you on today, man. And just, you told me a great story the other day when we were on a call, man. Hey, let people know your story and how you got where you're at today.
Yeah. First of all, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to be here as well. And yeah, I think it'd be good to set some context for your audience in terms of how I was and how do I get to do all these things I'm doing right now. So my story goes way back to my childhood. So I grew up in the southern part of India from a place called Chennai. And I'm the younger of the two kids. From a young age, I had developed this inferiority complex that I wasn't good enough. I didn't matter. That was partly because my dad was like super smart. He studied his entire life in scholarship. And then there was my brother, who is a genius. He has 3 masters and a PhD. And then there I was, the average Raj, who didn't do well in anything, right? I was pretty much average in everything, dude. Like sports, academics, dating, you name it. I was average in everything. And for those of you watching who grew up in an Asian community, you could probably relate to this, where when you're growing up, you pretty much are given 3 options: a doctor, lawyer, or engineer, right? So I chose the engineering path, and I've been in IT since then. But that's an option I was given, and I was constantly comparing myself with other people because I wanted to live up to their expectations and make them notice me. Because one of my biggest fears growing up was fear of being ignored, because no one thought anything good about me. They thought I didn't matter. I couldn't do anything, which was impactful, right? So this kind of continued through my childhood, and I ended up developing fear of rejection. I had anxiety. I had stress. Felt like an outcast, and I was like trapped. I couldn't be myself, and if I wanted to be myself, I used to get reprimanded for it. Like where I come from in my community, you don't ask questions. You follow the status quo, but in spite of that, if you ask questions, then you get reprimanded for it. So this kind of continued till my second year of my undergrad, and that's when my life changed. I still remember this vividly. So I was in my study room, and all of a sudden, I feel this pain in my chest, right? I could feel my heart beating so really fast, like tuck, 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 tuck. I thought I was getting a heart attack, but now I realized it was like a severe panic attack. And then my body started shaking, my hands was trembling. And then I sat down, and then I could feel the pain, which was in my chest, slowly shifting towards my head, because it was not physical pain anymore. It was also mental pain. Because all these feelings inside me, which I had suppressed inside me for the first 20 years of my life, everything which I bottled up came up here and then exploded. And for 2 hours, I sat there crying and I didn't know why I was crying, but I was filled with all these emotions and rage. And that's when I had this epiphany. All this while, I was trying to live a life for other people. I was trying to not disappoint other people, but by doing that, I was disappointing myself. And I didn't realize that until that particular instant. And I was letting other people's opinions be my reality. That's when I decided, you know what? Screw this. I matter. I'm good enough. I'm going to strive for greatness, and I'm going to carve my own identity. And that's when I declared power over my life. And since then, I've learned so many different strategies. I've gone through so many different experiences, both success and failures. And I was able to transform my life from a shy, introverted kid earning a minimum salary into an international keynote speaker, author, and tech career strategist who's earning a six-figure salary now. So that transformation would not have happened if this trigger event didn't happen during my second year of my undergrad. But that's kind of a nutshell of how I started this whole transformation process and how I'm doing what I'm doing today, which is helping people in the tech industry to find their dream job and become successful leaders in the industry.
You know, one thing that really stuck out, what you said was, for some people, it's really hard to get out of that comfort zone to stop worrying about what other people think about them. And that is really hard for a lot of people to do.
Yep.
And I agree with you. When I finally was like, I do care what people think, but got to the point, I don't care what they think.
Right.
This is who I am. This is my brand. This is how I'm going forward. If you don't like it, oh well, kind of thing. But I appreciate you being on board if you're there, you know, because one thing you got to realize in life is not everybody's going to like you. You got to pick and choose who's around you, who's close to you, who's in your inner circle, you know, and realize everything else is just noise, you know. It's really hard.
And that's a reality, right? Reality of life is you cannot please everyone. Mm-hmm. It's impossible. Even the Dalai Lama cannot please anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's why you have your tribe, you have your audience, you have the people who like your style, and that's what you need to relate to. You cannot make everyone happy, but if at least if you can make the people who can relate to you happy, I think that's what matters, right? And this is what I say. I'm a sucker for inspirational quotes. In fact, this side of the wall, I have a lot of inspirational quotes. One of the quotes, which is really close to my heart, it's by the great philosopher Confucius. This is how it goes. We all have two lives. We all have two lives. And the second one starts when you realize you have only one. And the second one starts when you realize you have only one. Just by saying this, I'm getting goosebumps here because that's a reality of life. If one thing COVID has taught us is life can change in an instant, right?
Absolutely.
Nothing is guaranteed in life. There's no security in this life. There's only opportunity. And the only thing you can do is keep an open mind, do something which brings you joy, and try to please people, or not please, try to help or impact people who can relate to you. And you cannot please everyone. And once you come to that mindset, and that's when any type of transformation happens.
Absolutely. Hey, let's get to the big thing right now. Tell us about that shirt. That is fantastic. I love it. I love that, man. Yeah, that's my style right there, man.
So as I was saying, I'm a sucker for inspirational quotes, and I want to be inspired, man. Like, I want to be around people who can inspire me. I want to make an impact in this world. I want to inspire other people. With you being motivated and inspired. And part of that, I have different things I do. One is I have different inspirational quotes throughout my house, because every time you feel low, you feel like not doing the work, then you have these quotes to keep you going. That is one thing. Second thing is, what better way to inspire yourself and others than actually wearing things which is inspirational. So what I did way back in 2017-ish time frame was I donated 3/4 of my wardrobe. because I came to a realization that I wear only those hand-picked like 6, 7 shirts, although I had like 30, 40 shirts, and the pair of jeans I wear the same set of 2, 3 pairs of jeans. So I donated 3/4 of my wardrobe, and then I started wearing shirts which inspire me. And this one in particular is one I designed, actually. So these are the quotes which I use during my conference talks, during my coaching. And I thought, anyways, as you know, I released a new book, and as part of that, I had to build my own website. Then I thought, you know what? Why can't I build my own online shop? So I designed different merchandises which can inspire other people, and that's what you see right now. So yeah, this is something which I really relate to, because everyone needs to do epic shit, because everyone has that thing, has the skill. It's our responsibility just to figure that out, right? And there's so much support, so many support systems and people who can help you out. So we always have to strive to do epic shit.
I love it, man. We're going to talk after the show about getting one of those. I love it. No, I like what you said in there is basically, wear what you feel, that a lot of that's what I got out of that. So like, if you have a hashtag that really means something or something like that, wear it, show the pride in it, because that's who you're trying to brand yourself to be. So I absolutely love that. And another thing you talked about is inspiring people. We've talked about it. My goal is to be a public speaker, to do more public speaking, to do voiceover stuff, be on a TEDx stage, get out there with the types like Raj and do a show, do a conference together, something like that, and, I think when it really hit me was when I inspired somebody, when I found out that I truly, really inspired somebody. I had a team member years back that, shouldn't got the job, probably wasn't qualified, just came in with the right attitude and everything. So we hired this person at a low wage, got a huge pay bump, about a year and a half later, because just knocking it out of the park. Come up to my office one day, starts crying and says, because of you, I was able to buy a house for my family.
Nice.
Right there, did it. Right there, it's like, okay, I need to get out and spread this somehow. I want to get on stage and just talk, not about necessarily what I did for somebody, but how you can affect other people as being a good leader. How can you get out there and be with your team to show gratitude and empathy and compassion towards them and still get the job done? So I've been on a mission now to rebuild cultures, and that fits just right up your alley too. Like that. I mean, you're trying to help people get jobs. You're writing these inspiring books, you're making shirts that say, let's do epic shit. I mean, right there. I mean, that if this stuff doesn't inspire people, I don't know what will. You got to find those people to help them. I mean, who doesn't want to go around town wearing that shirt? People are going to look at you, man. People are going to look at you, and then a lot are going to ask, what's your shirt mean? Bam, there, you drew them in. Now we can start talking and have that awesome conversation.
Right. I think everyone has some inspiration within them. I think everyone has a story to tell. It just boils down to whether you're ready to share that story, whether you're open to sharing and receiving as well. Because not a lot of people realize that many people go through similar kinds of journeys, no matter where you come from, what race, religion, or whatever your background is, in terms of your mindsets, in terms of self-doubt, in terms of fear of public speaking, in terms of trying to make it, in terms of earning money, in terms of making an impact. A lot of people go through similar kinds of journeys. And through these journeys, we face a lot of things. And there are a lot of stories which are right there, like golden nuggets to inspire other people. So I think it's our responsibility to share those, to help other people through our stories, because then people can realize that they're not alone. And a lot of people go through similar kinds of journeys, right? So say, for example, for me, right now I speak in front of thousands of people. I have a best-selling book, and I do all the stuff on a really big level. But I didn't start off that way. As I was saying, I was going through so many insecurities, so many different fears. But then once I started listening to people and realizing that everyone goes through adversities, I also realized that your mindset, the way you think about things, that's what makes a difference. So for example, so in 2008, when I came to the United States as an immigrant, I think this will set some context for your audience as well. I have a lot of stories of adversities and what I learned from it, but this one really relates to even the current times. So I came to the United States on August 31st, 2008. And on September 7th, 2008, Lehman Brothers, the biggest financial firm at that point of time, became bankrupt like overnight. And that kind of triggered the whole recession as well. And during that time, getting jobs was really hard, especially as an immigrant, because I needed a work permit and companies had to sponsor me, but they weren't ready to sponsor because they themselves didn't have money. So as a international student who came here to pursue his master's in software engineering, I was left with two choices. First option was go back with half of my class who were international students from where I came from, or do whatever it takes and see what comes out of it. And luckily, I chose the second option. And from the beginning of 2009 till end of 2009, I applied for 1,293 jobs, 1,293 jobs. And guess how many callbacks I got from those 1,293 jobs?
Probably not too many because you applied for that many.
Right. So I got 4 callbacks from 1,293 jobs, and I converted 1 job out of it. And that too, it was not a full-time job, but it was an internship. But then I worked my ass off to prove to people that I could do really good work. And then I was able to convert that into a full-time job. And now fast forwarding to 2021, that one decision I made to stick around and do whatever it takes helped me get to where I am today. And the reason I'm sharing the story is that would not happen if I hadn't faced some adversities, and it would not have happened when I saw other people going through some adversities as well and how they came out of it. So that's why stories inspire people, and you don't have to be a motivational speaker or a big name like Tony Robbins to inspire people. You can just inspire your friend. You can just inspire your significant other. And that's where it all starts from. And then it's up to you where you want to take it to. But you can inspire people even on a really, really small scale and make an impact.
I always say, you connect with almost everybody on social media for one reason. You never know that one person you can meet that can change your life, or vice versa. You can change somebody else's life. And that's why I like doing live video over text posts and everything, because you never know. Right now, we can have an immigrant from India stuck in the position you were, and you just inspired them and taught them, okay, I need to go this direction now. I can really do this and make this, and it's just, that's why I always tell people, you got to get your story out. You got to get your voice out, because all you got to do is impact one person. That's it. And that changes everything. And that one person is going to tell their friend, hey, I heard it from this guy named Raj, oh my goodness. And then that one person, oh, I like that. Then turns into 2, then it turns into 4, then it turns into 8. And that's what the amazing thing of mouth to mouth marketing is. It's the best type of marketing out there, because it's a personal referral.
I know.
So it's absolutely so. No, man, awesome journey, man. I mean, look, you're living the American dream. What they've always said is the American dream. You come to the country with basically somewhat nothing. You're in school, then all this happens, and you made a negative. I always say there's always a positive and a negative. And you found that positive, because there was a little negative time, because you're probably worrying about you were going to have to leave soon because of just work and visa or whatever was, going to expire at that time. So congratulations, man, on taking advantage of what you got, and you did it, and you worked your butt off, and man, we're doing epic shit now, man.
Thank you. And you know what? There's so many similarities between 2008 and what we're going through right now. Mm-hmm. At that time, it was a recession. And right now, we have a different type of recession. At that time, there were millions of jobs which were lost. And we are living the same kind of scenario where, at least about as we speak, 30 to 35 million jobs have been lost. And the difference is again, the mindset and the belief system. This what I tell even the people I help out, my coaching clients who are VP, senior level people in the tech industry who come to me for help. This is what I start with. It's about the mindset and the belief system. Because if you feel, for example, you're worth $50,000, then the way you show up, the way you act, the way you think is going to reflect a person who's earning $50,000. But if you feel that you're worth $200,000, then the way you react, the way you show up, the way what you bring to the table is going to reflect a person who's earning $200,000. That's why it all depends upon your mindset and belief system. You already have what it takes. It's just that you need that external or internal force which keeps motivating you and pushing you. And that's where this mastermind groups, your circle of trust, listening to podcasts like yours, reading books, anything which can work for you, which can keep you motivated and help shift that mindset. That's what it's all about.
I always tell people, I don't care what levels you're at, you always need mentors. And the higher up the chain you go into the executive CEO level, COO in big companies, you almost need to have a counselor or psychologist or somebody there that you can talk to too, you know? And I think a lot of people try to take on those emotions on their own, because when you get into huge positions like that, oh, I'm macho, I can do this, I'm in this level. Well, yeah, your skill set's amazing, but it doesn't mean your emotional level can handle a lot of it, or at least that stuff that you ball inside of you. And it's good to let it out. It really is. And maybe it's good to do it to a third party person that doesn't know anything what's going on, where you can just let it go. So
an objective view, right?
Absolutely.
That's why people see therapists. That's why people hire coaches. Yeah. So if people come to me and you, it's offering a third person's perspective, a stranger's perspective, and giving you a new perspective and different way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And the reason, for example, people come to me is they don't have to struggle through all the things I've struggled, because I learned different strategies which actually works, and I've proved that it works. And I could literally give the golden nuggets of what I did in 15 years in, say, if you work with me, it'll be like at least a minimum 3-month relationship, right? So I think, you can get the golden nuggets at a faster rate, but it doesn't start unless you have a mindset change and a belief system. You need to start believing in yourself. And because if you don't believe in yourself, no matter what you do, you are not going to change. No matter what resources you look for, it's not going to help you out, because you have to start trusting yourself and believing in yourself. And hopefully coaches or therapists or mentors, those folks can help you kickstart the journey.
Like what I love telling leaders is, when you're building teams, you want to build teams that you want people to take your job. Listen, you want them because you want people just as good or better than you on your team. But here's the kicker. If you're good at what you do and you're doing what you're supposed to, they're not going to take your job. Right. But you want to build them up to that level. One, because, hey, if you get bumped up, then somebody more than qualified is coming into that position, and the transition will be a lot smoother because it's internal, but when you're not giving out that information and building your team to be just as good as you because you're worried about them taking your job, you're the one with the problem, not them. And that's where the culture falls apart.
And you lose a lot of opportunities doing that as well, right?
Absolutely.
Because you never know what type of skill sets your colleagues had, because you didn't give them the opportunity to showcase that. Say, for example, a colleague comes up with this idea saying, hey, let's start, I don't know, like a woman empowerment group inside the organization. And he or she has the skill set to do that. And if you're part of that program, you are going to learn a lot of stuff. Indirectly, you're also going to get recognition for it, and you're going to learn from it. But all these things would not have happened if you didn't give the other person an opportunity to think out of the box and explore his or her creativity, right? So one thing I definitely have learned is to help people voluntarily, and not expecting anything in return, because that's when epic shit happens, because that's when you get new opportunities. Because at least till 2018 I was in that mindset that if I help people, then in return the other person has to help me out, and I was chasing the wrong dream. Fame and money was the only thing in my mind, because of, again, because of my childhood trauma, where I had this fear of being ignored, and I made a vow to myself that when I enter the IT industry, I'll never again be ignored, right? And till 2018, I had all the fame and money. I exponentially increased my salary by over 150%. I was a star performer in 6 out of my 7 companies, and everything was going well, and I was in the mindset of fame and money. But then I had an incident which changed my life for the good. And that's when I realized that, yeah, impacting people, providing value, and not expecting things in return, that's when you get real joy. And a byproduct of that is you'll get fame and money, but the main goal is to serve other people to lead a better life. So
I love what you bring up there is don't chase the fame and the money,
right,
because if you build the right foundation, you're providing the right value, you branding yourself the right way, the fame and money will find you.
right,
That's the thing, I mean, that's what, I'm working on branding. I branded myself for a year. Now I'm building that strong foundation, meeting people like you, having keynote speakers on the show, meeting the right people, picking your brains, listening to what you say in the show, and then putting out the right value will get me to my final goal. But if I go chase it right now and start, hey, Raj, I need a speaking thing. Can you do this for me? Blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get there. I'm
right.
going to get there faster doing it the way, branding yourself now. So,
And
hey,
fame and money. Sorry, I was in. I was
go
just
ahead.
going to say that if you're just chasing fame and money alone, you may not go that far. But most importantly, what's going to happen is you're going to burn yourself. You'll suffer burnout. Uh, your mental and physical well-being will be affected. How many times we have read from so many different books from great leaders where they were chasing fame and money, then they had a trigger event which made them realize that there's more to life than what they thought. For example, I said till mid 2018 I was chasing fame and money, and then I had a trigger event, right? And to set some context, this is what happened, and this could be you if you continue to just chase fame and money. So I still remember this vividly. It was June of 2018, and it was past midnight, and I had to go to the bathroom. So I wake up, I get up from my bed, walk to the bathroom, and then within a minute, slowly everything started blacking out around me. And then I fainted, and then I hit my head against the bathtub, and I was unconscious for on the bathroom floor. And my wife realized that I wasn't back for 20 minutes, so she said, "What the hell is happening? So let's go see what's happening." So she goes to the bathroom, and there she realizes, as she sees me lying there, butt naked, unconscious on the floor. And yeah, she got terrified. So she starts sprinkling water and then starts shouting. And then luckily, I started regaining consciousness. But then I told her, honey, I'm not able to move. And then she had to drag my butt naked body out of the bathroom, and then she laid my back against the wall. And to cut a long story short, I had to go to the ER, and then they found out I had suffered severe dehydration, burnout, and yeah, I got so weak, my body stopped responding to me, because I was pushing my body so much that my physical body was saying one thing and my mental part of my body was saying another thing. And till mid 2018, I always kept pushing myself, because I realized that I want to get rid of that fear of being ignored, right? But then once I was in the ER and having this realization, that's when I decided, you know what? All this while I've been chasing the wrong thing. And instead, now I have to, from fame and money, I have to switch that mindset to impacting people. And that's when I started seeing joy. And that's why I left my full-time job where I was earning a lot of money, like really high-end six-figure salary, into running my own business, because this is what gives me joy. This is what helps me wake up in the morning, because I know that I'm impacting people. And when I see another person's life being impacted positively, it could be getting the salary she wanted, getting the job she wanted, or getting the promotion she wanted. She's going to think about me till I die and going to tell other people about me, right? And that's true joy. So the reason I share the story is, again, coming to your point of chasing fame and money, it's not going to lead you that far. Because once I shifted my mindset, that's when other great things happen, like the book, like me trying to do a TEDx talk, right? I've been trying to in a coaching program to do that. And then all these things, all these connections would not have come if I've not shifted the mindset from that place. So something just to think about.
Awesome, man. So speaking of the book, do you have one there? You want to plug the book? Tell us what it's about.
Yeah. Actually, I also have a book here. I have 100 copies of the book here, by the way, because I have to ship to a lot of people. Yeah, so nice. This is the book. It's called Skyrocket Your Career. And this is how it looks. It's a 99-page book. And yeah, I can give your audience some insights into the book, why the book now, and who is going to help, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So since 2016, I always had this idea of writing a book. My initial book was going to be my memoir about my life as an immigrant in a foreign land, because I personally as an immigrant had to go through a lot of great experiences and a lot of not so great experiences. And I had a lot of culture shock. I've been a victim of racism, stereotyping. I've had cops pull the gun on me. So a lot of things have happened since I came to the US. And that was the book I wanted to write about, because I know a lot of other people are going through the same journey, and I want to share my story. But then COVID happened during 2020. 2020 was supposed to be my year, where I had 5 keynotes. I was speaking at 25 conferences. I was going to speak at really big conferences at a large stage. And then because of COVID, all talks were like this, me talking to you. It didn't matter whether there were 1,000 people listening or whether there was one person listening. It didn't matter, because I didn't get that effect. Because one big way I impact people is when I speak on stage, because after the talk, I connect with so many people. But COVID took that away from me. And during the March timeframe, a lot of people lost their jobs. So I was doing free coaching for people who contacted me via LinkedIn to help them get jobs, to do resume reviews, to figure out how they can get to the next level. And after helping about 30, 35 people, half of them either got jobs or were able to get their salaries, the promotions, even during COVID times. That's when I started thinking, I see that a lot of people are getting impacted by my work. And now with 30 million jobs being lost, a lot more people need help. So what better way of helping people than actually writing a book? So that's when the seed for writing this book, which is Skyrocket Your Career, the no bullshit approach to find your dream job, be successful in it, and transform into a rock star. So that's the book I wrote, and that's when the seed was planted. And yeah, so that's kind of the story of how I wrote the book and how that idea was planted in me. So I started writing the book April 27th, and within a month, I finished writing majority of the book, because every day between 8 to 9:30 p.m., I wrote 1,500 to 2,000 words. And literally what I coach and what I help people with, I share all those secrets in this book. So that's why I was able to just put a lot of content. But at that point, no one told me that writing is one thing and actually publishing a book is another thing. It's a whole
big difference.
World, man. Big difference. That's why it took me till mid-November. But the point is, that was the story behind how I wrote the book, right? But let's talk about why I wrote the book and why now and how it's going to impact people.
Hey, Raj, why did you write a book?
Why did I write the book? Thanks for the question. Yeah. So currently, if you see, people are anxious about their job security. They feel insecure. There have already been millions of jobs which have been lost, and people are looking to get jobs. And finally, there are certain sections of people who want to advance in their career, but they're afraid to do so because of fear of the unknowns. And I was in the exact same situation in 2008, as I was telling you, where it was the middle of a recession and I had to apply for so many jobs. But to be frank with you, for the first 500 jobs, I had no clue of what I was doing. I was just applying for jobs randomly. But for the next 500 plus jobs, I started seeing patterns. I started seeing things which are working, started seeing how doing things one way leads to another result. And it is those learnings, and combined with my 13, 14 years of experience leading teams and going through more other experiences, those are the things which are going to help people, because I learned so many different strategies which will help them find their dream job, be massively successful in it, and set themselves miles apart from the competition, right? So reading this book, you're going to learn the tips, tricks, and tools which will make you realize that the power to make the transformation is already within you. It's all locked in your mind. You just have to unravel it one by one, right? And that's what the book is about. It's about career advancement, from starting with finding your job till how to be successful in it and continue that growth, right? Another question which people often ask me is, okay, Raj, yeah, you have this book, that's well and good, but there's so many other self-help books out there. What makes your book different from other people, right? So for those of you, for those people who know me, they know that I read about 25 to 30 books every year. I'm a sucker for motivational books and biographies. You can see some of the books over here as well on the side. But one thing I noticed with majority of these books is they either talk about the experiences, their experiences, or they talk about the strategies, but they don't talk about how these experiences weave into the strategies. And that's the gap my book is going to fill, where I'm going to give you actionable steps. You have worksheets, you have templates which you can download, and actionable strategies which you can implement in your life right now. And that's what is going to make the difference. So to sum it up, if you are at the forking point of your career and you're looking for guidance, if you feel that you've done everything you can and you feel stuck and feel that no one is noticing your work in your company or what you're doing, or if you want to transition into leadership roles, or if you want to set yourself miles apart from the competition, or finally, if you were me, where I was going through low self-esteem, high self-doubt, and I had really low confidence, then this is the book for you. This will definitely transform your thinking, the way you look at your careers, and give you actionable steps to reach your goals. So that's kind of the overall information about the book. And it's only 99 pages, so people find it really easy to read.
Yeah. So a couple things out of there. One is, I love how you people talk about their journeys, one, or other people talk about the strategic way of it, but not the middle, how the journey got to the strategic place. So I love that. That's a great tip for me, because, I'm debating on writing a book. So that's a great tip. So free tip, everyone. Thank you. Number two, does your book have a chapter in it on how to beat the ATS? That's the biggest thing right there. That system sucks. I feel bad for people because it's always changing and you never know. And it's just, No, I have a friend who's a resume writer, and he talks about beating the ATS, and that's just, there's so many people out there who are so qualified for things, but the ATS just knocks them out, and it's just an unfair thing. But like you said, having that other stuff with it is fantastic, great. But I mean, I would love to read every resume, but if I'm getting 500 people applying for a job, it's impossible for me to read every single one. It is, so you need something to weed some out, but unfortunately too many great people get weeded out.
Yeah, that's why it's really important on how, say, for example, you started with resumes, even your resume, it's really important in terms of how you write it, what keywords you use, and what things you make visible immediately, because people's attention span is really, really short. Literally within 5-10 seconds, people make a decision based on a resume and then go to the next one. So that's why it's really important to make some different things pop out in terms of your objective, what you're exactly looking for, what are your skill sets, and then a couple of bullet points about your experiences in different companies, and you have to use the keywords which relates to the job position. So for example, since I'm a tech dude, say you're looking for a software developer role with a person who builds software so that you can use. If I am applying for a job like that, then you want to make sure in your resume you highlight how you collaborate with teams, some of the programming languages, a portfolio of your work. That is something which people do not do, but if you do it, you already stand out from the crowd. And then what exactly you're looking for, what you stand for. So the point is, if you highlight these important keywords, it pops out when screening through different resumes, right? And that's why having an updated LinkedIn profile is really, really important. That's where people have to start from. Your LinkedIn profile is your baby. It's the most underrated and most high value professional networking platform, especially for professionals, for people to connect, because your dream job is literally right there. And if you have an updated LinkedIn profile with the actual keywords related to your ideal job, it's going to really help you out. Because this is the thing I'm going to tell all your viewers, a secret. All the information you put on LinkedIn is actually SEO information and is indexed by Google. So what these recruiting companies do is they use recruiting softwares, and those softwares actually scan through your profile on LinkedIn and search for particular keywords. Say, for example, you're looking for a sales job. They'll look for keywords in terms of sales, marketing, collaboration, then name of some sales softwares people use, and those kind of words on your profile. And if those words are not there, you're not going to show up in that in their list. And also it's indexed by Google. So if they put Raj Subrameyer, I need to show up in the top 10 results instead of another person. And the way you do that is highlighting the different things you do with the keywords of your ideal job. And you have to update all the sections of your LinkedIn, starting from the tagline, from the about page, from your experience, and so on and so forth, right? So LinkedIn is where shit happens. In fact, you can actually export your LinkedIn profile into a resume. So I would tell people to first start with the LinkedIn profile, because there a lot of recruiters are already looking for you from there. Instead of going to ZipRecruiter, they're actually first looking at the LinkedIn profile, and then you can generate a resume just from there, and then you can upload that resume into ZipRecruiter or Simply Hired or Indeed or whatever websites you use. So that's a tip right there, where you start with your LinkedIn profile, make sure it's updated, make sure you use the words which relates to your ideal job, and then you can export a resume right from there. And of course, there are a lot of other strategies with LinkedIn which you can use. If you want, we can talk about that. But the point is, this is something which people can immediately follow to get their career started.
I love it, because this is where I go with people when I coach them on LinkedIn. Your headline, don't put what you do, put the key words like leadership, culture, have that eye-catching. Then in your summary is where you crush it. You crush it in your summary, and down in your job description down below where you work for and what you do. But your headliner is the eye-grabbing. Right. Then your summary is where you crush it. Like my thing has podcast host, but leadership, culture, ask me about my story. It's eye-catching for people. And then the summary is just where you go to town. So I love that. A lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people in their headline just have manager at so-and-so, director at so-and-so. That's not eye-catching. I mean, it's cool to have the title, but it's not eye-catching. What kind of director are you? I'm a leader. I'm a culture builder. You know, I'm a facilities guru. Whatever you want to put, do something that catches your eye when somebody, like you said, there's 6 to 7 seconds that you got to get somebody. So catch them. You know, I use the emoji, and I know a lot of people aren't big on that, but I do because it's eye-catching, and 90% of the people use LinkedIn over their phone. So you're going to see the emoji on your phone.
And
it does catch somebody's eyes, the little fireball, the little whatever. And it just, somebody's like, huh? I had a CEO, Raj, of a Fortune 100 company inbox me once and said, your headline's fantastic. And I was like, one, I wasn't connected to this person. I was like, really? So I messaged back. I go, I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Why do you like it? She goes, the emojis. You made it stand out than just putting the solid lines in between each thing. It just stood out from everybody else's she goes, I scrolled through my phone like this and it just stood out. So I stopped and looked at it. I was like, well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's kind of cool. So, you know, I mean, it works, people. I've gotten 2 jobs off LinkedIn where they didn't even look at my resume. They just saw my profile and messaged me.
Exactly. In fact, for me personally, my last 4 jobs was from LinkedIn, and it's been 9 years since I actually applied for, I actually built a resume and then submitted on different social profiles, right? So that is the power of LinkedIn. And even the summary page, the about page, you have to talk about how you provide value, what skill set you have, and what you can do, right? So if you cover those 3 aspects, that's really important. And a lot of people forget the how I add value part. You could say that I helped the company save millions of dollars through my software development efforts. Wow, okay, that tells me a story compared to someone saying, yeah, I build software. See how the narrative is so different? So I think, as you said, the tagline is really important. And then your summary page, the about page, it has to pop in terms of how you add value, what skill set you have, and why you do what you do, right? So that is something, if you just keep that in mind, that'll help you stand out from the crowd, right? And also, of course, you want to network with a lot of people on LinkedIn. And just by doing that, you can find out different career options. So for example, quickly for your viewers, I can share 2 strategies which can help them right now. So say, for example, you're looking for your next dream job, next dream career option. These are 2 things you can do right now. First thing is tapping into your own network. A lot of people fail to realize that they may already have like 2,000 people in their network, but here they are trying to go through different websites to find people to network with. But you already have 2,000 people in your LinkedIn network, and you can tap into them. So for example, say you're looking for a sales director position. Go into your network and see who's already in a sales director position, and then connect with that person. Because if they're in your network, then there's high possibility that they know you, and then start up a conversation saying, hey, I see that you're a sales director. Could we hop on a 15-minute call? I just wanted to learn some insights into what it takes to do that job, right? And here the key is not 60 minutes, not 30 minutes, but 15 minutes, because the human mind, we immediately may get on a call with the person for 15 minutes compared to 60 minutes, right? But this is the thing, if you do your research, then that 15-minute call may automatically extend to 30 minutes and 60 minutes, right? So that is how you grab the attention. That is one thing, tapping into your own network. The second thing, if you do is say, okay, you don't have a sales director person in your network. That's where you can start doing personalized cold messaging. So what do I mean by that? So say your ideal company is, I don't know, I'm just going to give random examples here. Say you want to work at Google as a sales director. What you can do is go to the search bar on LinkedIn and type in Google and click on enter. What's going to happen is you're going to get a page with all the employees who actually work at Google. Now what you're going to do is scan through the employees and see who's a sales director. And then what you're going to do is go to that person's profile and see what he or she is working on. Say, for example, I'm a sales director at Google and I'm working on some, I don't know, some AI, artificial intelligence product, right? And that's what I post there. That's what I put in my profile. This is how you're going to approach me. You're going to say, hey, Raj, I see that you're working on this cool AI product, and tell the name of the product. It's really fascinating because I'm also working in the AI space. And I'm really interested about learning more about how you apply that in real life and in sales. So would you have time for a quick 15-minute call so that I can get some insights into what it takes to do that job? When you have a personalized message based on the context from the person's profile, they're more than willing to, 99% of the times, they will get back to you. And about 75 to 80% of the times, they will hop on a quick call, right? And that is the key. And that's how you do personalized cold messaging. Just following these two approaches, you can even get to know about jobs which are not even advertised yet. But just because you knew the employee and you knew that the job was going to be open, you already have the inside scoop. And that's how I got my last 4 jobs from LinkedIn. So that is something you can follow right now.
Let's say one thing. Boom. Dead on. Exactly. And I add one last thing to that, Raj. Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot more, but one thing I really preach is engage on those people's posts. If they're posting, engage on it. Don't go in there like you're trying to get a job from them, but just engage with them in conversation throughout the post. Trust me, I got a lot of people in my network. I know the ones who engage all the time, and I see them and I remember them and I know who they are, you know? I mean, because you remember the people you're actively tagging on a conversation back or talking with, or who's showing up every day, you know? So that's where the personal branding comes in, is engagement. And also
providing value. Right?
Yeah,
you provide value to another person by engaging with them, sharing their stories. And then when you need help, when you ask that person, he or she would be more prone to helping you out because they know that you have provided value to them. And now they can provide value to you. And that's how the world works. But yeah, you don't have to do stuff expecting something, but you never know where it would end, right? As you know, through connecting through LinkedIn and being in a network of a lot of entrepreneurs and stuff, you never know how people get connected. For example, I connected with you because our common friend Jairus.
Who's just on here.
Who was just on here, like your second last episode. Yeah, there he is.
Jairus, great guy. Awesome. Love that guy.
Check out his LinkedIn profile and this podcast. The point is, and I follow Jairus and he has amazing content. And then I saw your name there. And then as I was commenting, then I found you. And then we started talking. And then one thing led to another. Here I am talking. And that's how the world works. And that's how networking works. And that's how you get your next opportunity, right? You don't do it wantonly just to get fame and money. But if one thing COVID has taught us is it's so hard to interact with people and so hard to find like-minded people who you can have a real conversation with. More than ever, having a network and having the constant conversation to spark ideas is so important. And at least for that, I think you have to engage with people.
I agree, because there's very few jobs where you need to know every single thing about it. A lot of people will hire people off attitude and then build that skill set. You know, I mean, a doctor obviously needs a skill set. We know those ones that need the straight skill set. But if I see somebody engaging all the time and they know a little bit about what we're talking about, but they're constantly in there, you know, and it comes up and I'm like, you know what, this guy or girl is always on my post. They're always positive and everything. You know what? Let me give them a phone call. Let's see if we can set up a call. Maybe they have the right attitude I'm looking for, just because of that constant engagement you're just talking about and networking. It's amazing. People, I have a philosophy when I hire people. It's 85% attitude, 15% skill set. Because if the person has the right attitude, we can teach them the skill set.
Exactly.
And that's the thing. And too many people worry too much about having the right degree, this many years of experience, and all this combined, How about you find the right attitude and the experience that will work? That's where we need to be.
I think. Sorry, go ahead. You're saying something.
Yeah. My brother's in the IT field, right? He owns an IT company, right?
Right.
He's never gone to school one day in his life for computers. He just figured out on his own, built his way up, built a brand, showed that what he can do. Finally, I won't say what company, but they came and got him, and then he worked there for a little bit, launched his own company. He's beyond successful. People are begging for his work all the time, and he's never taken one class. He does SharePoint stuff, never taken one class on it. He's just naturally gifted. So, he's very fortunate. He's past the stage where he doesn't need, all the degrees or anything, but a lot of people just get stuck on that too, Raj, and that's where the networking and the personal branding comes up huge, because if you have that in somebody's pocket, they're going to look past a couple things, and come over here. Oh, Nancy just wrote myth busted.
Right. And that's what it's talking about, like showing value first as well, right? Because you show value and what you bring to the table. I do have, I should say that I do have a master's in software engineering.
Right? That's awesome, man.
But I don't have a master's in speaking. I don't have a master's in coaching. I don't have a master's in building sales funnels. I don't have a master's in so many other things, because we figured it out. Yeah. And I think that's what separates legends from people who want to do legendary work, right? So legends are the people who figure it out and then put in the effort to become legendary. But half of the people, they think about being legends, but they don't put in the effort, right? So
absolutely,
that's why to be a legend, you need to do legendary work. And it starts with you trying to figure out stuff. I've never written a book before, but I wrote a book. You figure it out. I never built an online shopping platform before. You figure it out, right? That's why I agree with you that you need to have that attitude to do something, attitude to learn, attitude to receive feedback. When someone says things, if someone has already gone through the journey, listen on what they're actually saying, because there are a lot of golden nuggets. Because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to. You don't need to let your ego get in the way, saying, "Who is that guy telling me what to do?" or "Who's that girl telling me what to do?" Right? If you leave your ego aside and be really open in terms of receiving feedback, but then you can choose on what do you want to take, what do you want to follow, but be open in what do you want. Receiving feedback and learning, right? And I totally agree that it's the attitude and the aptitude you need to have to make a change. You don't have to have this fancy ass degrees to make an impact. Yeah, I think the experiences teach you more than degrees and other things which you actually learn through universities and stuff. All the great leaders, right? I'm not saying that we are all like the greatest of leaders, but I'm just saying Bill Gates was a dropout. Steve Jobs wasn't good in academics. So that's why I think the world has shifted in the past 5-6 years from specializing in one thing to being a generalist. So I think the name of the game right now is being jack of all trades and master of none, right? You need to have a knowledge on different things, because the world is shifting in such a rapid pace. If you take a course on, say, AI, for example, then you'll have something else which comes up, right? So you just have to be constantly learning, because you never know what skill set you're going to use. And I think that's the name of the game right now, being jack of all trades and master of none. And there's so many online courses. You don't have to go to school every time and be on student debt to actually prove to people that you're worthy. Instead, take online courses on Udemy, Coursera, Code Academy. It's a lot cheaper. Build your portfolio, build your brand, just like how you were saying, and then start connecting with people, and then things happen.
Absolutely. Hey, man, let's start wrapping this up. It's been an hour, man.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's pressing an hour, man. So I'm gonna have to edit it a little bit to get it on IG, but it's all good. No worries. Hey, man, This has been a pleasure. Let everybody know where they can find you. Obviously, I got all your link. If you're on LinkedIn and YouTube, I got all the links down there in the comments. But really quick, where can I find your book, and what's the best social media place to find you?
Yeah, so everything related to the book can be found at skyrocketyourcareerbook.com. Skyrocketyourcareerbook.com. There you'll find all information about my book. You can buy my book from there. Right now it's at a discounted rate. I think starting next week the price is going to increase. And and also I'm giving away a free chapter of my book, because I understand, because I'm also the same guy where I want to know what the book is going to give, what impact I'm going to get from the book before buying the book and investing in that book. So I'm giving away the first chapter for free, so people get a feel for how the book is going to help them, right? So skyrocketyourcareerbook.com. You'll find all information about the book, and then you can also get cool merchandises like this, which I designed from there as well. That is about the book. In terms of how I help people and how we can connect with me, I am super active on LinkedIn. I live on LinkedIn. So follow me, message me there. I serve people and I help them find their dream jobs and become successful leaders. And all the information is on my website, www.rajsubra.com, which is RAJSUBRA.com. And that's where you can find out how I help people. And connect with me. And I love making new friends.
Awesome, man. Just like I said, it's down in the links. If you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, man, it's there, man. So hit those links, go visit Raj's websites, check out his book. Hey guys, you can find me up there in the corner, up this way. Boom. You can find me on LinkedIn. That's kind of fun. You can also find me on YouTube, Nick Dorsey Leadership. My link tree is down below where you can find me in all my social media sites and coaching programs and everything that I came up with, leadership, speaking engagements. Find it down there. Hey, Raj, this has been just awesome, man. We probably could have gone on for at least another hour and a half, man. So this is great. Hey, guys, find Raj. Buy his shirt. Let's do epic shit, man. Right there. I want to see a bunch of people wearing those around. That'd be fun, man. That'll strike up some good conversation out in the streets.
So. I'm just thinking about this. In our LinkedIn comments, I'll put a discount code for people to buy the t-shirt as well. I just do this for spreading inspiration. I don't this is not for money at all, but I could do that as well. But before we close out, I wanted to just quickly acknowledge you for the impact you are making. I think your podcast is helping a lot of people. I personally listen to 3 to 4 of your podcast episodes as well. I think you are making a great impact in the community, and you're serving people as well. So I want to acknowledge you for that. And thank you so much for having me as part of your podcast episode and giving me an opportunity to share my journey and inspire other people. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you for the kind words, and it was an honor having you on. So Raj, thank you very much. Have a great night. Hey, everybody, we're going to take a couple days off because I've done 15 of these in 17, 18 days. So we'll be back on Saturday morning. Be looking out for the promo. It's going to be an emotional one Saturday. I had a lot of emotions and inspiration going on Saturday. There's the teaser. So come find us Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Mountain Time. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for tuning in on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Periscope. This will be out on Anchor, to Spotify, to Google, to Rocket Cast, all those fun places later this afternoon. So I'll chop it down and get us on IG. And hey, guys, have a fantastic day. Thank you so much to our guest, Raj, and have a good night, everyone.